Hey everybody, my name is ChefBoyEric. That's my internet persona, and I'm putting together a YouTube video on how to make a pie, pumpkin pie. It's really easy to do, and I just want to put this out there so that anyone that wants to make a pie can make a pie, because it's not that hard. I'm not making the crust from scratch. You can get these ready to bake pie crusts. I've already used one of them, but I got one left. You can find them near the egg section in the supermarket. So you're going to need a pie crust, and then you'll need some sort of filling to put in it. I've got this Libby's Easy Pumpkin Pie Mix. Use 1 can of this, and the recipe, if you want to call it that, is right on the back. See that? You need 2/3 cup. It recommends carnation evaporated milk. This is what I got right here. Now this says 2/3 cup. This is 5 ounces. If you do the math, it's very close, and the 5 ounces works fine. So get the Libby's Easy Pumpkin Pie Mix, 5 ounces evaporated milk. Pair that with 2 eggs, and you should be good. But you can't just bake it with this. You're going to need a little more stuff, right? So, you're going to need a pie tin to put it in. And you can use either this glass, what's this stuff called? It's like bakeware. You use that, which is the preferred method, or you could use just any old pie tin that you got. And I'm going to use this because I'm actually going to make an apple pie. I'm saving this for the apple pie. But what else do you need? You need something to mix the ingredients in. You need something to mix the ingredients with. You could use an electric mixer or just a good old whisk. And I'm going to do this with a whisk just to prove to you that you don't need one of these. But if you have one of these, by all means use it. What else? Need a can opener. Makes sense. That's just intuitive. Spatula helps. If you got one of these style can openers, that's good for the evaporated milk. You don't need it. You could use a normal can opener. And I must have been shopping at Costco or something, but you'll need a little bit of shortening to grease the pie tin. And that's it. That's all you need, and you'll make a delicious pumpkin pie. First thing, preheat the oven. Follow the instructions on here. Preheat to 425 degrees. Cooking instructions are a little weird. You do 425 for 15 minutes, then you drop the temperature to 350 for another 50 to 60 minutes. But anyway, 425. Let's get the oven nice and warm. Check. Step 2, grease the pie tin. Real easy to do. Just get a little bit of shortening. That might be too much. Rub it around till you get like a nice coating all over the pie tin. That'll keep it from sticking. Alright. Looks nice and covered. Now the thing about this stuff, it really sticks to your hands. So wash it off the best you can, but it's going to be a pain in the butt. One thing I didn't mention, if you have long hair like I do, it's a good idea to put a hat on so that you don't get your hair in anything you're making, because that'd be gross. Alright, next, why don't we get the pie crust in the tin? So if you got these pre-made ones that I like to use, You actually do want to set them out for a little bit before you cook so they're not super cold, but because they should be refrigerated. But if not, that's fine. You'll see they're just rolled up. There we go. Find the spot. Be a little gentle with it. Until I'm not getting it perfect, but once you get it started to unroll, the rest should come pretty easy. There we go. And just try and get this centered in the tin as best as you can. And I did a pretty bad job so far, so I'm going to try and readjust that. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. And then what I like to do, I just try and go around at the bottom and get it into the corner, just so that there's no gap between the crust and the pie tin. And there we go. Now, you'll notice the important thing is it's as high as the tin. If you got it sticking up a little higher, that's fine too. But since it is doughy, I like to push it down, and maybe it'll make the edge a little thicker. But I just try and even out the whole thing. This looks pretty bad so far, huh? It'll turn out good though, trust me. If I can do it, you can do it. Alright, there we go. Now, this doesn't look that great. So what I like to do is you take 3 fingers, sometimes 4, but you just kind of go around the lip. Hang on. And you just pinch it a little bit till you start ending up with something that looks like a halfway decent pie crust pattern. Just do your best with it. The 3-finger technique works good. There we go. That looks like a pie crust, kinda. That looks good. Alright. Now we gotta work on the filling. So I like to start with the big can of pie filling. I don't know how important this is, what order you go in. Use a spatula just to get some of the stuff off the top of the tin, because why waste it, you know? I got a little on my fingers, that's alright. Alright, get the rest of this stuff and just dump it in. I like using the spatula because you can really get in here and get everything out. Something about me doesn't want to be wasteful. I want to get as much of the filling in as I can. However, you'll probably see in a little bit that might not be a smart idea because this only holds so much. Anyway, that looks pretty good, no? As usual, the oven heated up before I'm ready, but that's alright. That is alright. Next, we got to add some eggs and the evaporated milk. So let's go ahead and do that. 1 egg. Don't get any shell in there. 2 eggs. evaporated milk. I'm going to use this guy. And it just puts a little triangle in there, and then I can pour it out. Actually, if I put one on the other side, it pours better. Well, it says shake well, but I'm using all of it, so maybe I should have shaken it. I'm not sure. Shake it before you do this. It'll turn out better, probably. Alright, and that is going to be our filling. As I mentioned, you can use an electric mixer. I'm just going to use a whisk just to prove to you that it's possible. It will be a little challenging. Here we go. Start whisking. Whisking away. I'd say that looks pretty good. There's a little bit on the edges, which actually I can use the spatula to pull the filling away from the sides. Just set that there for now. I'd say that looks pretty good. Alright, there is our pumpkin filling. There is our crust. Now we just got to put them together. Be doing it this way so you guys can see, but basically I'm just using the spatula to get as much of the filling in here as I can. There you go. I think I got most of the filling. Alright, now the long boring part. Stick this in the oven. I threw the can out, but it said 15 minutes at 425. It's preheated to 425, 15 minutes coming up. Well, alright. That's going to bake for 15 minutes. I'm going to cut the camera. I'll be back when I change the temperature. And then, yeah, I'll see you in a bit. So 15 minutes is done at 425 degrees. I'm going to switch it over to 350 degrees for 50 minutes. Now I should say the instructions on the can said 350 degrees for between 50 and 60 minutes. So I can check it at 50 and then see how it looks from there. I'll give you guys a quick peek at what it looks like so far, if you'll bear with me. So that's what it looks like after the first 15 minutes. The good news is I don't see anything dripping down underneath. because sometimes the filling gets a little too high and it starts dripping. So far, so good. I don't want to show you my messy house. Keep the camera focused that way. Alright, so 50 more minutes and then I'll check back in with you. Alright, I'm back. So the timer went off for 50 minutes and I said, you know what? It says 50 to 60 minutes. I'm going to split the difference. I gave it an extra 5 minutes. So I baked it for the initial 15 minutes at 425 degrees and then an additional 55 minutes at 350 degrees. And that should be done in about 24 seconds. One thing I should mention, I opened the oven once to peek in after the initial 15 minutes. Don't peek on it too much because every time you open that oven door, you let a bunch of heat out. So pretty much you just want to leave it in there and let it sit. Here's the thing you do with a knife to check when it's done, which I'll show you right now. Alright, wow, this really puffed up, which is not surprising. Let me get right in there. I don't even see like how poofy that came up. Now, as it cools down, it will settle. Butter knife. So, stick a knife in. You use a toothpick. It should come out clean. Now, you're gonna leave a slit in there. Now, as it cools off, it might crack anyway. So, it'll crack along where you stick the knife in. So they say do it in the center. So yeah, do it in the center. But that way, when you're like later on cutting, pie slices, you'll just use that same slit anyway. So if I stick this in, should come out clean. And that came out, I don't know, there's a little bit of stuff on it, but looks clean enough. Use your own judgment what you think clean looks like. And yeah, that's how you make a pumpkin pie. Homemade pumpkin pie. You can just go out and buy one too, or you could make it from scratch and like roll your own dough. But if you want like an easy to make homemade pumpkin pie, like you show up at your relative's house, be like, hey, I made this. They're like, oh wow, you're quite the chef. Here's how you do it. And don't serve it right out of the oven. Give it 2 hours to cool down. After that 2 hours, you could serve it after 2 hours right then and there. Or what I'd recommend, let it cool down for 2 hours, throw it in the refrigerator, and then like the next day or whenever, serve it. So like if you're going to a party, you could make this the day before. And then, like I said, wherever you take one of these pies, everyone will be really impressed. They'll be like, wow, you made that? Get a can of Ready Whip, put some whipped cream on it. It'll be great. And that's it. Thanks for watching. If this is the end of the video, which I'm not sure it is, like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Also, if you do comment, let me know if you like this, if you didn't like this, if you want to see something similar to this, maybe a different food. The whole purpose of me making these videos is to sort of make cooking more accessible to people that don't know how to cook, because it's not that hard and anyone can, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Yeah, thanks for watching.